तन्मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सगणा रघुनाथामृतं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावतांश्च नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरितुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपति गोपेश गोपिकांत राधाकांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण. So last week we saw how Maharaj Chitraketu, so Maharaj Parikshit is asking Shukadeva Goswami that how come a demon named Vritrasura, he was a devotee actually. He had a demon's body. So then he told, Shukadeva Goswami speaks that Maharaj Chitraketu actually became demon Vritrasura. So now he's discussing about Chitraketu Maharaj in previous life. And Chitraketu Maharaj was sitting once in his kingdom. He had how many wives? 1 crore wives. But none of them could give him a child. So he was lamenting. Angira Muni came and he asked him. So Angira Muni actually came to preach him that you become a devotee. See, whether I need a son, I need a daughter, I need a wife, I need a husband, all this is material. It's only to entangle us further in this material world. What is a son? What is a daughter? It's nothing, just some living entity taking a body in our family, in our house. Actually, not in our house. I have taken birth in this family, and then my wife comes from other family, and then some jiva takes birth as a son or as a daughter, and then we think that this child is mine. That's an illusion. So when I was joining this temple full time, so my age was 27. I asked my mother, she was a little disturbed, so I asked my parents, did you have any relationship with me 28 years ago? They said no. So this relationship is only 28 years ago, after the jiva enters the body of a mother, or a womb of a mother. Otherwise, there is no relationship. This concept, because it is not clear in our consciousness, because we are not clear about these concepts, that is why we are suffering. So this pains and pleasure in this world is thinking that I am happy. Why? Because my wife, my husband, my mother, father, son, daughter, brother, sister, they are happy. So I'm happy. If they are not happy, I am not happy. That's the situation. So Angira Muni saw that this is not the time to preach to Chitraketu, because he is just hallucinated. He's illusioned. I need son. Desperate about it. So Angira Muni gave him a blessings. He said, you take this and give it to your eldest wife, and she'll become a mother gradually. But the son will be the cause of jubilation and lamentation, both for you. Jubilation in Sanskrit means harsha. Lamentation in Sanskrit means shoka. So this Harsha and Shoka. So that is why the child's name will be Harsha Shoka. Chitraketu Maharaj, who was so maddened for his desire of being of a father, having a child, that he didn't even bother. He said, okay, whatever lamentation comes, let it come. But I need a son. So then Angira Muni said, okay, so be it. And Angira Muni left after some time. Now see, Chitraketu Maharaj. That is why our today's title is you cannot have what you cannot have more, not a penny less, not a penny more. Then you are destined. Whatever your providence is giving, that is final for you. Nothing more or nothing less. So nothing more, nothing less. That's the situation. Now let us see how. We have seen people who work so hard. They think if I work hard, I will earn a lot of money. Money, money, money. Sweeter than honey, brighter than moon. So that is about money. So they work hard. But people in the world do not understand. If it is not destined for you, you will not gain it. But there are some people who still work hard and somehow they get some extra money which they are not destined for. So then what happens? They have earned more money than they're supposed to. 1 second. So then what happens? If I am destined for 50,000 rupees per month, but then I work hard, I work overtime, I work hard and I earn 75,000 per month and hooray, I have earned a lot of money. My astrologer said, no, you are only destined for 50,000, but I have challenged my destiny and I have changed my destiny. Nobody can defeat me. But this 25,000 which you earn extra, which you are happy for, it will only give you pain in your life. Then you will see if you earn extra, what will happen? Either you will get into a court case and then money will be taken by the lawyer, or some litigation will come, or someone in your family or you will fall sick and that money will be taken by doctor. Because you are not destined to enjoy that money. That money is not yours. But you worked hard, you became adamant, and nature said, okay, beta, take it. I'll make sure you don't enjoy this money. That's what happened with Chitraketu Maharaj. Chitraketu Maharaj was not destined to have a son. Many husband and wives, many husbands, many couples all over the world, they don't have children. Man thinks it is me who is cause of child. This is foolishness. This is atheism. No, it is Krishna who gives you a child. Otherwise, how it happens that sometimes a man is potent, and husband is potent, wife is fertile, still they don't have a child. 10 years of marriage, no child. They're trying, no child. 20 years, no child. Then they go for the IVF technology. But they're not destined for child. They're going for this technology. The child will give them more pain, less pleasure. They're not destined for it. There's no use of getting into this technology stuff. There are many couples who use contraceptions who try that they should not, become parents. But they become parents. Then either they are frustrated because they didn't want a child, or they abort the child, which is most sinful. But it happens. So Chitraketu Maharaj was not destined to have a child. But he was adamant. He wanted a child. Angira Muni said, okay, you will get Harsha Shok. So he gave that special prasad. Angira Muni gave to Chitraketu Maharaj, and he told to give to your eldest wife, Kritaduti. So then Kritaduti ate that, and in due course of time, she became mother. She became pregnant and eventually gave birth to a beautiful child. And king knew that Angira Muni has said his name will be Harshashoka. So they named him Harshashoka. Someone may say, what kind of name it is? But it is true. There are people who has name like Tiger Woods. What is this name? Tiger. Is he a tiger? So many names you see all over the world, funny names. So then he gave a name Harshashok. Now what happened? This king, Chitraketu, had like 10 million wives, 1 crore. And he was anyways frustrated because no son. Now, one of his wives gave a son to him. Imagine how he would be happy with that wife. Because son, this small baby Harshashoka, he will stay most of the time with his mother. And king wants to play with the baby. So he will come. Earlier, how used to happen, the culture of this polygamy. So it was not that husband has one house and there are 4 wives or 10 wives or 20 wives staying in that house. It was not like that. So then if you see in Ramayana also, King Dasharath had a different palace, and all his 3 principal queens had different palaces. That's when in Ramayana it is said, Lord Ram came, he had this different palace. So Lord Ram came out from his palace. He went to the palace of Dasharath, but he couldn't find Dasharath there. So he went to palace of Kaikeyi, and he saw Kaikeyi. Then he came back to the palace of Kaushalya. So that is how it's okay. Palace or some separate area. Earlier they used to have palace. So Chitraketu Maharaj had these 10 million wives, and everyone has a different section in the house. Or I don't know, 10 million wives. How much property he would have had? How he would maintain? He would directly procure his grocery from the factories. He cannot go to Reliance or DMart, otherwise it will be over. So special only for his wives. He has so much grocery he has to get, and every wife will have like hundreds of maids. So then it's very natural that king would spend all the time, apart from his what busy schedule was, all the time king would spend with Krita Duty. Because the baby is there, baby cannot be separated from the mother. Now, the nature of this world, if you get what you want, your false ego, your ego increases, your pride increases. I got it. See, there are many actors who make movies, directors, actors, actresses, singers, music composers, script writers. They all come together, they make a movie. Recently, I came to know, because I came in touch with some people a few years back, that almost all directors, I knew some, but now all directors, they actually go for Shubha Muhurat, when to start movie. They get into astrology, which actor to sign, when to sign. Everything, they get, because it's not a harm, it's not wrong, it's Vedic. But they take so many measures. But what happens? They give their best. But sometimes the movie is success, sometimes the movie is flop. Sometimes it is expected that movie will be a mediocre, because the director himself is, okay, small budget movie, 5 crore rupees. Okay. And then the movie earns 100 crores. And there's 100 crore movie which earns hardly, nuts. So who knows what will be the result? Sometimes you get best of the star cast, biggest stars in the industry you get. The movie flops. It happens. If the director becomes successful, movie is hit, he will just say, it was my brainchild. The story I had, the story from 25 years. They'll give interview. Oh, I had this story from last 40 years. I wanted to make a movie. Then he gets success because of my direction, because of the selection of the stars. I got everything perfect. He becomes proud. And when the movie is flop, he's like, he'll go on a vacation to Goa. Sit alone at the ocean beach, doing nothing. What can he do? He does not want to come in public. So he goes out of the network. Now, if any actor wants to do this movie, but somehow he rejects, and other actors signs the movie, and that movie becomes super duper hit, and the actor gets fame and name because he is destined for it. So this actor who rejected the movie becomes envious. So envy and pride, two things. This is what material world is all about. So other queens, 10 million minus one, all other queens, they became so envious. Their hearts were burning because of envy against Krita Duty, because king is giving attention to her. And a co-wife cannot tolerate that. They were so envious. And why this envy is? Because king is paying attention to Krita Duty. And why king is paying attention to Krita Duty? Because of this Harsha Shoka, this child Harsha Shoka. So we must kill him. Envy can take a human being to any level. And it is said in the scriptures, I'm not saying that, scriptures. If a woman becomes envious and she takes up the case, then the opponent will have a very tough time until unless he's protected by Krishna. Now this pastimes in Bhagavatam is coming in 6th chapter. Sorry, 6th canto. You see entire 6th canto. Diti becomes envious. Daksha becomes envious, angry. All these anarthas. Ajamil, Indra, everyone. And you see this all anarthas, actually how Krishna purifies. So how Krishna will purify Chitraketu Maharaj. He's not worried about other queens. Other queens become envious, what can be done? They will get purified. But Chitraketu Maharaj is a devotee. And Krishna says that why a devotee has to get stuck in this material world? He should come out. But he's not coming out because he's attached to his family. So Krishna creates a situation where he becomes detached from his family. So all these millions of wives, they became envious. They don't want to see that king is spending all the time with Kritadyuti. So they thought how to kill him. They planned, they said, we will administer poison to this child. Harshashoka was 1 year old. His birthday. The evening there was a grand party in the kingdom. All relatives and everyone is called. The morning. Now, co-wives entering the kingdoms or queen's palace and playing with the child is normal. But very quietly, one of them administered poison to Harshashoka. And then he was actually dead. And they left. And queen is busy, preparing for evening and all that. Kritadyuti is busy. And she thought maybe child is in a deep sleep and he wants to sleep more. Babies, you don't disturb them. Rather, they disturb parents. So small babies, because once they are awake, they'll not let mother, father do anything, especially mother. Then they want attention. Children are very expert. They have only one desire, attention. And they're very expert how to get attention. So they just cry and cry and cry and non-stop cry. So then Kritadyuti thought maybe he's sleeping. Let me finish few of my, household chores. I'll get ready and this and that. Okay. But then it's been a long time now. So Kritadyuti said to one of her maid servant, said, get baby. Get the child. You get him ready. He has to go. So then a few of the maid servants, they went. And they tried to wake up the child. Oh child, oh Harshashoka, please wake up. It's a long time you have been sleeping. Get up. You have to go, take a bath, get ready, have your meal, drink milk, and then we go out for the party. Child is not responding. Eventually they try to touch the body and try to shake the body. No response. Then they saw the face of Harshashoka. And his eyes were rolled up. When a person dies, eyes rolled up. Goes up. So then they realized, these maid servants, they realized that he's dead. He's not sleeping, he's died. They started crying like uncontrollable cry. They were beating their heads, they're beating their chest and crying and crying and crying. They didn't have that courage. They said, we are doomed. How can I go and tell my queen and my king that one and only son of yours, whom you got after so much austerity and penance, he's dead, he's no more. All your happiness is gone. And they started crying. Other maid servants joined, crying. The queen heard. She was crying and she ran. When you're a small child, anything inauspicious, you immediately run to protect the child. When there was a mother Yashoda, King Krishna was like 1 year old. Then Trinavarta came. Trinavarta as a demon came in the form of a storm. An entire cloud, entire skyline in Vrindavan became black with the dust. And he entered. And Yashoda, just before that, Mother Yashoda thought Krishna is very heavy. So she kept him down. And Trinavarta came and everything was destroyed by storm. And Trinavarta picked up the child and went up the sky. Mother Ashura, first thing she is looking everywhere is looking for child, but the dust and not fine dust, big pebbles were just in the air and hitting the eyes. You cannot open the eye. And Mother Ashura was just looking for, where is my child? First thing, where is my child? So when you have a small baby in the house, first thing, anything you hear, any inauspicious sound, anything, you just want to run. Anything falls off, from the wall, from bed or something, just want to run, whether the child is safe or not. So Kritadyuti, this queen, she ran and she saw child is dead. She became like a cow who lost the calf. Anytime you want to see if anyone can grieve maximum or cry most on the loss of near and dear ones is cow when she loses the calf. Human beings cannot cry so much. The cow when she cries, it's painful. It's very painful. I went to one Goshala. I saw there was an artificial calf with the hair and all that. It looks artificial, but natural, very nicely done. I said, why have you kept this? And he said, there's a cow who lost her calf and she would not eat anything. She would not give milk. Now, if she would not eat anything, she will be sick. And she will not give milk, then also she will be sick. She cannot hold milk. That milk is not for her. She has to release. So she will die because she has lost her calf. So we have kept a small calf, and then we bring this calf in front of cow. Cow is very simple nature. So then this cow eventually thought that this is my calf, and began licking the body of calf. Then started eating. Then became normal gradually. And gradually you have another calf, then this calf becomes older and it's gone, becomes more of independent. So then mother is okay. So Ketututsi, imagine what would have happened to her. She's crying like anything. Someone sent a message. This message spreaded like a wildfire, and king came to know. And king, when he heard, it's like he couldn't believe. He was in utter disbelief. And it's like he lost everything. He came running towards the palace of Ketutut. And while running, he's falling in between. His hairs are scattered, his clothes are scattered, his upper cloth is gone on the ground, his helmet, his mukut is gone, he's crying and falling. He's not able to speak coherently. He'll not be able to speak coherently. He goes and his son is dead. Imagine what would have happened. Just by imagining the scene, you can understand how painful that situation is. Because Chitraketu did not have a child in his destiny and he still hankered. This is what happens when you get more than your destiny, you get pain. So don't try hard to earn money. Whatever is coming after performing your duty by giving sufficient time. What is that sufficient time, people will ask? How much is hard? How much is hard labor? How much is as a duty? You practice bhakti. If you reduce the time of bhakti and give more time to job, then you're working hard. You will not get the result. Even if you get the result, this is what happens. So He's crying and cannot do anything. Crying so pitiably. Seeing his cry, everyone, all the ministers came, all the other wives of Chitraketu, everyone started crying. Everyone's crying. Chitraketu became completely mad. The wife, Kritadyuti, she's blaming God. That's the saddest part. What happens in our life, any negative thing, we immediately blame Krishna. We blame God. We're so foolish. Why will Krishna take away our happiness when he wants to give us eternal happiness? Why will he take away? Immediately we blame Krishna. It's pathetic. We're such demons. How can we blame Krishna? He's an ever well-wisher. He's the most loving father, mother, the most loving person. He loves everyone. He wants to give unlimited happiness to everyone, and we blame him. They're so ungrateful. How can we blame Krishna? So this wife started blaming God. Oh God, you do not know how to create. You are not at all intelligent. If you have created father and son, how can it happen that son dies before the father? So much pain you are giving to my husband because he lost his son. And if you wanted to take away the son before father, then you should not have given son. And if you want to give and take away, then you should not have created these affections in our heart. So many emotions we have invested. 1 year of relationship, Chitraketu and Kritadyuti with Harshashoka, and they are blaming Krishna, with whom we have eternal relationship. 1 year of relationship. Chitraketu didn't blame. He'll blame in future. When we are maddened by pain, we blame. We blame everything. We don't take responsibility. We do not accept. We live in denial. When you lose any dear and near one, we live in denial. So you accept. Okay. Everyone comes and goes. So Kritadyuti is blaming. Chitraketu Maharaj said that son is the previous. Who takes birth as a son in your family is actually your past life's enemy. If I have enemy in this life and he's very inimical to me, then I will become his son in next life. So that I can disturb him. Chitraketu Maharaj says that. Today what we are seeing, because of Varnashram, Varna Shankar, because of no training to mother and father, what kind of children we are getting in the society. Even parents are fed up. One father is saying, मेरे बच्चे असुर हैं, असुर. A 5-year-old child and 3-year-old child, son and daughter. It's just so, it's mode of passion and ignorance. It's how children nowadays are. In Hindi we say utpati balak. It's our mistake. We are getting them because we deserve that. So then Chitraketu Maharaj and Queen Kritadyuti, they started crying, they started blaming, and the entire situation was very sad. So never hanker for anything in life, material. Whatever you deserve as per your previous karma, Krishna will give you. He will give you. Don't worry about that. Whatever Yadrichaya labha santushto, Krishna says, whatever comes to your life as per the accord or as per providence will, you accept that and be satisfied. Yadrichaya labha santushto, whatever you get, whether pain or pleasure, just accept it and be satisfied. Otherwise, situation is very gloomy. Just accept. It's our karma. Seeing this situation, Angira Muni, who was keeping an eye on King Chitraketu, he brought his friend Narada Muni. They both came in disguise as Avadutas, and they started preaching to Chitraketu Maharaj. And just by their speech, by their purity, Chitraketu immediately got washed off of all material ideas and became perfect devotee. And very soon, he met Krishna. He got unlimited bliss. What to talk about one child? He got unlimited bliss. How that happens, we'll discuss in the next session. So do not desire more. Whatever is coming, just accept it. Do bhakti, perform your duty of job, of business, of anything, whatever you want to do. But do not compromise on bhakti. If you spend all the time in job, you'll still get whatever is deserved, whatever you are deserving. If you get more, take from me, take from scriptures. That will increase the pain in your life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful lecture. If any devotee have any question, then they can raise their hand and I will unmute them and they can ask their question. Prabhu, maybe we do not have any question.
Okay, so I'll leave now. What you should do, you can read from Canto 6, Chapter 14, text number 54. Okay, text 54 onwards. You can read for 15 minutes.
One Mataji raised their hand.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Arunima Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, you
My
can.
question is that sometimes, like you gave us an example of sometimes we want something in our life which is not in our destiny. So, is it also possible that sometimes people might want to keep away with things that is in our destiny and try to force or push things away from them? So, how to deal with that?
See, whatever is there in your destiny, whether pain or pleasure, whether happiness or misery, let it just come and go. Try to chant your rounds, try to read Bhagavatam. The more you read, the more you understand. This will keep coming and keep going. Like when we travel. I'm in Bombay, suppose in the month of October or in November, I'm traveling from Bombay to Mathura for Kartik Yatra in a sleeper coach. What happens? From the Bombay, the weather is warm. From Bombay till Surat for 4 or 5 hours, the weather is warm because it's near the ocean. It's okay. Then gradually it becomes cold. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's warm. Different kind of breezes are coming. Sometimes warm, sometimes cold, sometimes water. Sometimes it's dry desert, sometimes it's lush green forest. We don't get affected. We should not get affected. Our journey must go on. The train must go on. We should not get affected by these things. If you do not get, we have to practice. We all are conditioned soul. We have to practice. And this practice means chanting Hare Krishna and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. The more you read, the more you understand. The more you get spiritual Shakti by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you understand. You just go on with the train. When you see lush green forest, you don't get down. Your target is Vrindavan. When you see dry desert, you don't just avoid it. You have to pass through. For next 2 hours or 3 hours, the train will pass through desert. Okay, you cannot do anything. It has to go on. Okay, just learn to accept. For that, you need Bhagavatam and Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granth Raj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki